Cool. Right, I think this is it.
Yeah, there was only 3 booked on.
Is PT on?
Not yet.
She said she was on, or joining us.
There we go. Talk of the devil. She's in.
Ah, can you mute her? Can you mute her?
Wait, Jenny's in charge. You won't let me do it.
Do you want me to hand it over, Mark?
Oh.
No, it's all right.
Don't mind.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna raise my hand.
I don't think
what bird she's got in her garden.
I don't think I should be in control. There you go.
No, don't leave me responsible.
There you go. You are the responsible adult.
You're the leader. Mark the leader.
I'm gonna make Paul the host.
Yeah, man.
Right, guys. All this is literally this is obviously the first one, so hopefully it will get a bit more interest as we get going. Basically, the idea is we pick like a topic each week. Well, like I said, topic like a sub. We could say a topic. So like basically this week is like prioritizing your training. So each week we'll have a different thing that will like basically any like points you guys want to ask us about, you can ask, and basically just ask loads of questions. So obviously prioritizing your training, the idea of this is, I suppose most of you guys are on the mobility anyway, so I'll give you a quick example. But basically, say someone like myself that is like a strength for me in training is endurance. So realistically, Jenny's going to laugh at me. If I wanted to get super serious about my training, but I massively struggled, say, with my squats, I should prioritize my training to work on my leg strength and my squat strength rather than my endurance training. So there's no point for me to go running 5 days a week. I should realistically squatting 3 days a week instead of running. Obviously, you can still do your endurance because you still work on your strengths, especially if you're getting into like comps and stuff like that, or just like for general life, you obviously still want to be able to run. So I'm not saying cut your running out completely, but say you train 5 days a week and you, if you want to get a balance to even out more, you should be squatting 2 to 3 days a week and then maybe just run like once a week. That's just like a very basic example. So basically the idea is it's for us, you guys to ask us any questions you want really, kind of about your like own programming or like how you should prioritize the classes you do throughout the week, or if you've got a bit of spare extra time. Obviously we've offered out the like the push-up programs, handstand push-ups, the running program, like the band stuff. So basically it's a chance for you guys to ask me and Jen kind of which sessions you should really be doing and what you should prioritize. So say you can only do it one of them sessions a day. Should you be doing train, body proof or sweat, or should you be going for a run? So yeah, it's kind of over to you guys really to ask any questions you like, or if you want to go off subject, by all means, as soon as it's quite quiet, you can ask random stuff if you like. Can't be.
When's a good time to eat though, Mark? So eating times, but like how long before a training session? And like, can you eat straight away after a training session?
Yeah, it's all like, a lot of this I think is down to like the person themselves. Like for me personally, I can eat probably like 45 minutes to an hour before I train. Even if I'm doing something quite high intensity, I can still eat kind of, I wouldn't eat a meal. This is just like snack wise. Like for me, so say within an hour before I'm training, I'll have like a snack. So I'll have probably a bagel.
And peanut butter, yeah?
Yeah. But then it depends, like you want to have something obviously with some carbs in it. Some carbs, obviously carbs is your energy, your main energy. So don't go and have like a protein bar or something like that. Personally, you want to get some carbs in. And then post-workout for me, I would probably have a shake straight afterwards. And then I'll try and have my main meal within like an hour after that. So say you're doing like the 6 o'clock class, unless your dinner's obviously prepped, you can have it kind of within a half hour afterwards. But if you kind of want to relax for like an hour, I'll try and get a shake in straight after with some protein and carbs. And then within the hour after training, try and get your main meal in. I mean, Jenny, you probably know more about nutrition than me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
kind of down to each individual, right?
Yeah.
If you're specifically a really competitive athlete, the timing of your meals doesn't really make a difference. The most important thing, like Mark said, is have carbs before you train. And then making sure afterwards you're kind of getting that protein back on board. We talked about it quite a lot in nutrition.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I've just missed it.
getting the protein on board after you've trained is quite important, and getting that main meal. So I think for kind of like just average day-to-day stuff, the timing's down to you. Like Mark can eat an hour before, I can't. Even like snacks aren't good for me before. Like my stomach just doesn't settle quick enough. So I have to eat something like an hour and a half, 2 hours before, which is partly why in the morning I train fasted, because I get up early, I coach, and then if I'm training at 8, by the time I finish coaching, I don't really have a sensible window to train in. So I tend to coach, like train fasted just for that reason.
Yeah.
I feel sick otherwise.
Yeah, I think like things like fasting and stuff, like I'm trying that as well, like Jenny is. I think that's experimenting with your own body. Like it worked for some people, but like I wouldn't go like just because we do it, I wouldn't be like that's what you have to do. It's just personal preference. I'm literally like for me to personally do it is just like, okay, we're on lockdown. I've never tried it before. I'm just going to try it.
For me, it fits around my lifestyle, right? It's just easier.
Yeah, it's your jobs. I mean, when everyone goes back to work, normally, obviously, like for myself, I only be training once a day. So, do you like try and have your main carbs just before you train, like 2 hours beforehand, or can you separate it? Can you like have them during the day before your workout? Like
anytime during the day before the workout.
5 meals.
Yeah, anytime during the day before the workout's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's not really going to make a massive difference, right? You're up and about and moving anyway. Just if you are going to, obviously, depending on how much carbs and all of that kind of stuff, you may want to go a little bit lighter on them in the evening. But that again is completely personal preference. But there's no reason why you can't eat them throughout the day. Like, don't starve yourself just because an hour before you train you're going to eat carbs. Like, it doesn't make sense.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
It's just experimenting as well.
Yeah.
Because like you can go like off what you hear and what you read and like different experiments, but everyone's body obviously reacts different to things. Some people run better off like higher fat, maybe like a pre-workout. Some people work better off carbs, obviously proteins. But what you don't want to do is like undereat. So many people undereat. Don't be shy of eating. There's not like to an excess that about good food. That doesn't mean going to like 5 chocolate bars a day.
Bagels aren't part of that good food group, guys.
Yeah. Like Jenny says, like I eat like loads and loads of bagels, but that just works for me. That doesn't mean everyone gonna eat bagels. Like for me, like I enjoy bagels and I digest them like super quick, so I can have a bagel like as my pre-training. So like 45 minutes before, I can have a couple of bagels. It doesn't affect me. But that's just from trying.
You guys are training all day though, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like but things like oats. If I have oats like pre-workout, it just doesn't set. I always have oats as like my mid-afternoon snack before I train in the afternoon. But I just didn't go down well with it. So then when I started having bagels, it just works. So yeah, it's just taking the time to figure out what works for you. Because in the long run, obviously, it will benefit you. Especially like, so for you, Dave, if you're away like doing a comp, you want to know what your body like reacts well to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I've certainly found on Jen's advice about, and it was actually B's recipe, which was really good, of taking a protein shake in between doing like train or sweat first thing in the morning. So the 6:30 one, finishing, having a shake straight after, and then doing the 9 o'clock class, the train class. That shake's really, it's given me a little bit more endurance in the second class, because I was finding that, 20 minutes in, I was absolutely wiped out. And by Wednesday, it was just like, it was just a slog to get through. So taking that protein shake, I've really learned the benefits of it. It really sort of gives me a bit of a boost, definitely.
That's good to know. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's just getting food in you, but it's like it's getting a balance, and you don't eat too much, but then you want to have enough, like you say, Dave, so you can like stay fueled for the next session.
Yeah, and that shake's just enough, because I funny enough, you lead by example. I know you eat bagels, and the bagels were good, but I just wasn't getting enough overall protein throughout the day as well. So just having that little extra bit of boost has made a difference. It's definitely made a difference this week.
Yeah, definitely. It's just experimenting. So I say all us six of us here could be on the exact same diet, but all of us could react different to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just taking the time and just kind of being patient with it and just trying different things for a couple of weeks and like, okay, that doesn't work. And then at least you know. Yeah.
So one of the questions that I was going to ask then, guys, is the fact that obviously in the either sweat or to an extent the CrossFit stuff when we do every so often, part of the WOD will be raw X number of calories or do whatever it is. Now, for obvious reasons, we can't do that at this moment in time. Would you recommend that maybe I should try and get a run in? Because I'm not a big runner. Yeah, as you may have noticed, whenever we've got to run to the lamp.
Me too, Dave, mate. Me too.
As
I'm
well,
running with
not runner.
No one on this call that likes running apart from Mark.
I love running.
Do you think I should try and get maybe a run in at some point in time? Or,
yeah, I think like personally, I would add it in. I'm not just saying that because I enjoy running, but I think I'm not just saying it, but personally, I think running is the best type of conditioning you can do. You're you're moving your own body.
Yeah.
That's like just my opinion on it. Like I love any cardio. Like I love rowing, like bike. But
You're weird.
Literally, like as much as I detest running is the proven way to improve your cardiovascular endurance and your aerobic capacity. Nothing else will work in the same way. Like the rower takes a bit of your body weight off.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily moving your body weight, the same as the ski erg. The bike's probably a little bit closer to it. But overall, running is the quickest and best way to improve that aerobic capacity. That's all I'm going to say about running.
But if you've got dodgy knees, it's not the best thing, isn't it? Running. Yeah,
you just need to manage like the volume you do.
Yeah.
Like you can get out once a week, or even if it's every like 10 days or something.
Right.
But you don't have to thrash yourself. Just a steady state run. Whether that's 30 minutes, anywhere between, I'd say, like, just for aerobic, anywhere between, like, 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And obviously, you can build it as you go. Literally, steady pace. Whether that's literally a super slow pace or whether you get more into it and go a little bit quicker, but just one pace the whole way.
Right.
And now just work on your base, like your aerobic base.
It'll also depend on the surfaces you're running on. Like if you've got, I've got dodgy knees, the best thing, it sounds really stupid, get a decent pair of running shoes. That's the first thing. Just running in like Metcons or whatever it is you've got isn't going to help you. So decent running shoes if you're going to do like running, and just finding the right kind of ground to run on. So as level as you can get it.
Right. Yeah.
And as much as roads are level, they're quite impacty on the legs, so it's learning to run properly as well.
Right.
So your heel stride, your toe stride, like all of that stuff is quite important. That would stop some of the knee pain if you get it. Or most tracks are closed at the moment, but when the tracks are open again, that's probably the best place to go.
Right. Okay.
Because the roads in the past from the gym, they're quite uneven, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got the hills and the descents and everything. Like when you're running uphill, it puts more weight through the knees and everything else. So if you can find a relatively flat surface or area, that's going to work in your favor a little bit more if you do suffer from like shin splints and dodgy knees and stuff like that.
I get really bad like shin splints when I run.
Yeah, there's not really a lot you can do about shin splints apart from ice them and rest.
Yeah, I'd say just, if you are going to start running, Dave, I'd just maybe just start short distance,
right,
and then just build it up as you go. But yeah, once a week, like I personally think that would make a big difference.
Right.
Like I run. To be fair, I only run now if it comes in a workout. But that's because my background's running. So like that's why I prioritize my training. Like ideally, if I really wanted to, I'd probably run at least twice a week. But Jenny will tell me off. Yeah, at the moment I haven't ran since we've done lockdown.
To give you an idea, if I'm going to prep for a comp, I'll run once a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it, but if I'm prepping for a comp 6 weeks beforehand, I will run once a week to build my aerobic capacity up.
Right.
And what do you think of the Couch to 5K then for beginners?
It's pretty cool actually. I've seen quite a lot of people do it. It's got quite a steady on ramp for it, and it is good. It's worthwhile doing. Like,
I tried it a long time ago, and the first level was quite easy, and a couple of the first, second level was quite easy. But because it was easy, and I thought, oh, I'm okay here, I kept on going, and then I hurt my knee, didn't I?
yeah,
Well,
Rather than sticking to the plan of the couch to 5K.
yeah. If you can,
I might try that again, you know.
Yeah,
just how I should.
Yeah, just make sure you stick to it so that you don't overload yourself. I mean, you've got to see it the same way as like, here we go.
Here we go, guys. Get ready.
Whoa.
Luke's in the house.
If you're gonna lift, you're not gonna go from a 20 kilo lift to try and pull 60 kilos off the floor, right? You're gonna incrementally build it. Going out on a short run and then hitting 5K a week later because it felt good, doing exactly the same thing, right? You're gonna max out, and it's not. The body's gonna react pretty badly to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I did the couch to 5K, and I honestly couldn't run the first 30 seconds, but I just like kept on going throughout the thing, and I managed to run for like half an hour straight.
Oh wow.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna have to try that.
But that took like 8 weeks though, or something.
Yeah, but there's no rush, right? No one's in a rush to run for
No.
it.
I ran like 3 times a week, like the plan was, and I just went through like every day, and I managed to do like a whole hour without stopping, and a whole half an hour without stopping.
It's good.
That's
Great.
awesome.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's just building it, isn't it?
Oh, that's our next goal.
What?
There you go. Good dog.
We're going to go out running.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh.
No.
My mother's
Get attacked by
bored
the birds.
I put on mute if you can hear the horse.
No, no. Oh, doing something. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Or like about your personal like training? Any advice you want on prioritizing your training, or what you should be working on more?
I think I should be working more on the gymnastic side rather than, because I enjoy doing the weights, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just don't do the gymnastics because I'm too scared. It's just my body weight by doing the gymnastics. Just, I don't feel that I get any benefit from doing it, but I think that's obviously going to be proven wrong.
Yeah, because I think the thing you got to remember is the more you do gymnastics isn't just about like swinging off of the rig, right? It's about how to move your body well. And the more you can move your body well, as you lose weight, those movements become easier. But if you can move well, you can move weight even better, right? So gymnastics is definitely, I think it's something that everyone overlooks. 1, because it's either boring, or 2, because it's body weight and it's hard and it's frustrating. It is literally one of the, I mean, Mark said it on Tuesday, it's one of the most important things to do and know how to do. Even something as simple as being able to squat properly, lunging properly, that's all gymnastics, right? If you can lunge properly, you can build the strength to work into pistol squats and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you can lunge well and you can squat well, you'll squat even better with weight.
Like if you want to do more like the gymnastic stuff, would it be better to do more of the bodyproof classes then, or?
I mean, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you have the time, B. I mean, do you have a lot of spare time, B, at the moment? Yeah, like everyone has. If you can, like, just split it. Like, if you have time and you feel up to it, maybe do a bodyproof session and then do a second session, like, split throughout the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely try and like Jenny was saying, like on the Tuesday, like Jenny basically said, like, what would you prioritize? Was it, Jenny, gymnastics, weightlifting, or cardio?
Okay.
What would you like pick first? And I said gymnastics, because I just personally think if you can move your own body weight and you know how to move safely, that's going to move over to weightlifting, like squatting, deadlifting.
That's like what I'm prioritizing really. Like in my spare time, like today I was doing like handstand holds, and I'm working on my handstand hold and push-ups and stuff like that.
Love it, B.
Cool.
It's moving your body, isn't it? It's moving your own body. Like that's the idea. Like CrossFit is technically like functional movement and stuff. So it's being able to move yourself. So like running, push-ups, air squats. Doesn't have to be super advanced
as well. So
It's also about,
Oh, God.
Not this week though.
just about moving well as well, right? One of the foundational things of CrossFit is move well, then add the weight and the intensity, right? So if you can move well at body weight, then you should be adding intensity and the weight on top of that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily doing the weight really intensely, but badly, because that's going to bring you an injury, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into bad like movement patterns as well. Like obviously if you've got a bad movement pattern, say you're like squatting with weight all the time, but technically you're not, I know, say one foot's twisted out more than the other, you're going to keep drilling that movement constantly, and like you're either going to get an injury or you're just drilling bad movement, and eventually it's going to catch up with you. Whereas if you can master it body weight, and then you know you're set right. It's why people get all imbalances and stuff, because they jump into lifting weight right before they've mastered like the basic movement. Yeah, it's like if you're weightlifting, isn't it? Like me and Jenny have been chatting about this loads recently, like weightlifting, like technique stuff. Like both of us have just stripped our weight back completely on lockdown just to try and hammer like good technique.
Yeah.
Because I have like a really early arm bend. Jenny's embarrassed people. I'll show you a picture when we're back in the gym, but it's shocking. But it seems like when I train, really, I like don't video my lifts, and you just kind of, I don't really have anyone coaching me. So I've just got into a bad habit and not realised. And then I started to video myself because I've got more time at home, and I'm like, okay, I need to go back to basically the basics.
Luke's face.
Yeah. So honestly, I haven't lifted. Yeah, we were doing snatches on Monday, me and Fee, and I was like lifting under 50% on my max snatch, just to try and hammer technique. Yeah. So
same as me though, right? I've got like my little starfish leg that goes out the wrong way. It does it with my cleans and my snatches, and that's from not having learnt a movement very well. And I'm the same. Like I've barely been lifting 50% on snatches or cleans at the moment. But the thing you need to remember is it takes like 10,000 movements to ingrain a pattern. So if you've ingrained a bad one, you need to do 10,000 good movements to ingrain that new good pattern. That's why it's really important to get it right, like do it right from the get-go.
Yeah. It's just drilling that movement. So like, let's say about the ollie lifting, at the moment, I'm doing no WODs that involve a barbell, because I need to basically relearn my snatch and my clean. So there's no point in me doing a workout at high intensity when I can't master it like by itself at the moment. That's just like me personally, but that's like me prioritizing almost my training. So my weightlifting I do like by itself. And then like tonight I did a body weight workout with like a piece of cardio kit. And that's all. I do like dumbbell snatches and dumbbell clean and jerks. That's like not as bad. But I haven't done any WODs with snatches or cleans or jerks, just because I want to master my movement.
Is there going to be more gymnastic stuff when the box back open, when it reopens? Is there going to be more gymnastic lessons or classes? Sorry. I think there's only like one a week, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's one a week. We're going to relook at the whole timetable when we reopen. So I'll try and basically look if we can add something in. Because basically the end bit where the open gym is in the gym, we're maybe looking to move that into like a bit of like a class area, so we can do kind of like smaller group high skill stuff. Obviously we need to see we've got the space to do it. But then when we've got like the normal classes running, we can have like almost like a small group PT with obviously one of our coaches.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the plan.
Sounds good.
Go on, Luke.
What?
No. There he is, bro.
No, I just listening to you there. I just think you're very self-critical. I've just texted you now saying you lift well, and actually an early arm bend isn't all that bad because it's an adaptation of that movement. I mean, one of the best in CrossFit, Mr. Rich Froning, has exactly the same early arm bend because it's all about that connection with the bar. But you're right, you are, in what you're doing, you're 100% right. Stripping back the weight and going at 50%, not doing it in WODs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like you say, when you just see something yourself, it's almost just something you want to work on, isn't it? To master.
I mean, in the gym before you had like a minor one, but I think it was where you were maxing out on the snatches. Like it was becoming more.
To show you a picture.
Yeah, it was becoming really obvious. Honestly, it looks like
it's getting worse and worse. Like when I'm lifting like 50 to 60%, it's not too bad. But I think where I've just drilled it from trying to lift like high percent all the time,
it's also like
worse.
You have like good days and you have bad days. I have days where I can do no feet snatches, no problems, close to my max. And then I have other days where I can't even do 50% without starfishing and going out at a weird angle. It's just some days it works right, other days it doesn't. And it's, if you can drill it, that those days become few and far between. That's the important part.
You ready
hard.
for this?
I mean, I get a lot of grief for social media, and I like it because the only reason I record it and put it on there is so that I'm held accountable for it, and people actually comment and message you and say, "Oh, mate, you want to try and have a look at this and have a look at that." And there's no reason why normal people that are just starting out can't do exactly the same and tag the gym in, because as soon as you tag the gym, you've got someone like Mark, Jenny, Georgia, any of the other part-time coaches watching it, and they're going to critique it and say, "Oh, have a go at this, have a go at that," even if you're not in the gym. You know, if you're doing hollow holds or hollow rocks or anything, that sort of gymnastic stuff, a quick video, whack it on Instagram, and you'll be amazed how many people will offer some advice and just say, "Have you had a try at this and try at that?" Or, you know.
Yeah, but I think it's really interesting what Jen's just said about some days you can work really well, then other days you know that you're not working so well, so you don't get as much. Because as a relative newbie, sometimes I get a little bit frustrated with myself, because some days I can do things I think, yeah, great, I've absolutely crushed it, and then like the next day or the day after, I'm like, hold on, I did 20 of those on Monday, why can I only get 10 without feeling absolutely wasted today?
Yeah.
And it's just learning that actually that is a natural thing, and people like yourselves actually go through that sometimes. That's really
like
good.
Yeah, that's definitely like
And me, Dave, I go through that, mate.
Any level you're at, like me and Fee, we did a workout tonight, and she won't mind me saying it, but both of us had like she's looking at me. We both had like a bit of a meltdown. Basically, the best way to say it. Fee gets upset if she has a meltdown. I just get pissed, angry. So like I'm trying to work on, so I can handstand walk, but I've got like a little ramp thing that I'm trying to get up and down. So the other day I practiced and I could get up it like no problem, and then tonight, like how long was it for you? 25 minutes before I got up it. Yeah, it took me 25 minutes to get over it once, whereas the other day I got over it like no problem. So yeah, it's like I think no matter what level you're at, like you always have good and bad days.
That's good.
But like stress in your life as well, like you probably don't realize it. If you're having like a bad day, you haven't eaten properly, like anything can affect it. Definitely. But it's just the way you react to it, like the sensible way to react to it, which I need to learn to do. It's just like take a step back. Like if I'm trying to do handstand walks in a workout with a ramp and I can't do it, just take the ramp away and do handstand walks without a ramp. Yeah, it's just being sensible, which I need to learn. Definitely.
It comes with age, Mark. As you get older, you learn to do that in the masters category. I'm just going to put it out there.
Can I ask you a question about handstand walks? So the progression is you start with like the hollow holds and progress that way to then do a handstand? Because I see a lot of people do handstand walks and their feet don't look, the legs look dangly, like they're hanging over. Are they supposed to be like tense and tight?
If you teach like super rigid, like you're dead straight, but like especially to handstand hold, but like the reason for your legs being over, that's your momentum to almost follow. Whereas if you're too straight, obviously you're not going to have no momentum to follow your legs. Whereas if you've got your legs hooked over a little bit, obviously that body weight's pulling you across and then you're following it with your hands. But if you're trying to teach like a solid, good position, obviously you want to be dead straight. So personally, I would teach it is if you're doing like handstand holds, if I'm coaching a handstand hold, you want to be dead straight. If I'm teaching someone to walk, I'll tell them to bend their legs over slightly to go.
Sometimes people like walk and their feet are like this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you watch like the CrossFit Games, handstand walking, there's probably like 1 out of 30 people that are dead straight, and that's probably like the ex-gymnast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as you're like safe and you're not like massively curving your back and getting back pain from it, you need some momentum to pull you along. What would you say, Jen?
it like from a gymnastics point of view, like ideally you want dead straight because the momentum comes from your shoulders and your fingers and your hands, and you should only have a little tip. So like ideally you would want dead straight, and like Mark said, if you watch the games you can spot the gymnasts from a mile away. They have the most beautiful pointed legs. But the thing to bear in mind with CrossFit is as it adapts, I don't know, was it might have been Dubai, they had to handstand walk with a block between their feet. That's actually the way they handstand walking, right? So it stopped people doing that. When you first kind of learn handstand walking, and if you lose your midline and your core's not tight, so the hollows and all of that kind of stuff, it's when you kind of get that arch and the scorpion style handstand walk. But that's also sometimes shoulder mobility. Because if you can't get in a very good stacked position, you would end up in a bit of an arc with the feet coming over because you can't get into a good position. So it's different parts that play in it. And when you get into those technical movements, a lot of it will be mobility and core strength more than anything else. Okay. If you want it to look super cool on Instagram, just go for like feet together, nice pointed toes. But that also brings full tension through the whole length of the body. Because as soon as you bend at the knees, you lose that tension and you tend to switch off your glutes.
And then when you bend your knees, your core is not as strong, isn't it?
Yeah, so everything goes to pot by that point. Usually.
Bearing in mind, remember the gymnasts are normally not over 5'7" or 8, so they've got that shorter body.
Yeah, short limbs.
If you've got someone like Mark, or you know, if you're talking professional people like Brett Fikowski, they're too tall to be able to stay that rigid, which is why you've got to adapt movements to your body, but also doing that, you've got to stay safe. And, you know, like Mark, you watch him do it, and someone would say it's the worst technique going, but actually it's safe for his body because he's got such a muscly back and shoulders that his body can cope with it. Whereas if I tried to do it or Jen tried to do it, we'd probably really hurt ourselves. So you've got to take movements and make them work for your body as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There you go, Paul. You're under 5'5", aren't you? Be all over handstand.
5'7", have you know, Mark? 5'7".
Yeah, it is like Luke says. It's your body, like we're all built differently. As long as you don't get pain from it and you're moving safely for what your body is, then it's all good. But yeah, it's just practicing the basic stuff. Does that answer your question, PT? Yeah. Oh.
I'm ever going to be. I think in this lockdown, I think my mother's having a bit of an argument about plant and soil. Yeah, so I think I'm going to practice. So I can do handstands quite well.
Yeah.
And I can hold it quite well, but as soon as I start trying to walk with my hands. So what I tried before, I did a handstand on the wall and I moved side to side.
Yeah, it's a good start because then you're moving your balance over to one side. The thing, I mean, everyone goes like a little bit different, but like we're trying to get Fee to handstand walks. What her doing is she'll kick up, one of the drills she does, she'll kick up and go into a handstand hold, and she'll do like a shoulder tap. So basically, she'll release one hand off the floor, touch her shoulder, put that down, touch shoulder. So you're basically getting your strength from one side, and you walk in, one hand comes off the floor at a time, doesn't it? And then she's kind of mastered that, which we still do, like I still do them as well. And then what we're going to do now is we'll start a meter away from the wall, she'll kick up and then try and walk just a meter into it. And then as she gets more and more confident, she'll start further and further away from the wall and like build your way in. But yeah, definitely do like the body weight shifts, like side to side, and then do like the shoulder taps as you kind of like get more confident. Yeah, it's just getting confident upside down and building the strength on each arm. Because if you can do a handstand hold like perfect standing up, as soon as you go to take one hand off or you try and walk, you're not strong enough on one side. So that's where you need to do the rocks and the things like the shoulder taps. Or like single arm planks, things like that are good as well. Because that's your core and working on one arm. Yeah.
Single arm planks, would that be like not the side, but just being like this?
Yeah. So just start in your top plank and then just bring one arm off for like 30 seconds and change arms. Things like that.
Give Luke the demo.
Yeah, it's on the handstand push-up program we sent out. It's got that things like that's on there. It's got the
Yeah.
single arm planks.
Without shifting the hips ridiculous amounts, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I try and use the lockdown to like master a new skill, whatever level that is you're at, whether it's like a normal push-up or like a handstand hold or like a pistol. Doesn't have to be super advanced. It could just be like a good moving air squat where you know you're hitting below parallel, like in a good position. Yeah, maybe just like set yourself a little challenge. But for me, it's a handstand walk over a ramp. That's like my challenge. Like Fees is to handstand walk, like freestanding. Like everyone's got different little things. Like Bee's doing her handstand holds, which is probably better than me now.
No, definitely not.
But it's just making sure you're practicing it right. So if you're never sure, obviously you just let one of us know. We can like take you through it.
Yeah,
So you don't
like I'm looking at like YouTube videos and something.
Yeah, YouTube's really good. Just make sure it's obviously YouTube, like a guy or a girl that they know what they're talking about. Because there's so many different videos out there. It could be just some guy that's like, oh yeah, like this is a handstand hold. And it's actually like, oh, you're teaching it completely wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're ever not sure, give one of us a shout and we'll put you in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm also following that push-up program that you sent out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but that's where it's like prioritizing your training, isn't it? 'Cause it's like something you want to work on, you need to work on. Prioritize it 2 to 3 times a week. Because little things like that as well, it's like 20 minutes. Like it's not long.
Sorry, where are these programs?
They're on
They're
Facebook.
on the
They're
Facebook page.
Yeah,
On
under
the Facebook.
file.
Oh, okay, and the file. Okay.
The other thing
I'm going to try the push-up one, I think.
Yeah, the other thing to remember is try not to do everything at once, right? While there's a million and one things that you could do, like I could work on my strict ring muscle arts, my handstand walking, my snatches and everything else. You just end up getting overwhelmed and you'll end up doing them all badly. So like pick one, focus on it for 6 to 8 weeks or however long you want to. Once you nailed the progression or the goal that you've got in it, then pick your next one. Try not to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
You want to just do everything all at once.
That's the problem with CrossFit. There's so many different things. You're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. There's
do everything.
Yeah, I need to out. We're going to send out a podcast tonight, and this one I'm going to do. It's Steve Fawcett. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's basically like the main UK CrossFit guy, that like the first guy that got to the games and stuff. He does all the program for JST. He does a podcast, and he's basically saying on it, he's like, you've got all your different skills and strengths. You need to like, basically exactly what Jenny's saying. You need to focus on one thing. So you could have like, do a pure gymnastic session, and then like your next session of the day is like a pure cardio. Then the next day you're doing a pure weightlifting. You might do your one kind of like sweat class or something a day. And then when you're kind of like getting confident on more pieces, that's where you bring it in. So for example, say I'm like working on my handstand holds, that's like my main gymnastic focus. And then my weightlifting, my main focus at the moment obviously is my snatch. So I'm practicing them like individually. And then once I feel like it's there, I then bring it together into a workout. Does that make sense? To say like, I know Monday and Friday I'm going to work on my snatch, like in a pure snatch session. Tuesday, Thursday I work on my handstand holds. Once I've mastered them, I can then say on a Monday I'll do a snatch and handstand walk WOD. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if I haven't mastered both of them, but I'm trying to do both together, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's like when you like, yeah, it's just focusing on that skill basically. Then once you master it, bringing it together with another movement, especially for like comps and things like that. You practice, like master the movement, then you bring it together as you build into your competition. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's like David Beckham, isn't it? Like he's amazing at free kicks. He would do his training, and then there's always the stories he would then stay behind and just do loads and loads of free kicks, just practicing. It's the same as that. But I'll put the podcast up on the Facebook page tonight. It's a really good listen. It's about an hour long. It is. It's good. Yeah, because it's like there's so many movements that everyone wants to learn and do. Like we're all exactly the same. You just want to master everything like straight away, but unfortunately, it's like it's not going to happen. That's like I was saying in the first example. If you want to build your squat up, you can't go running 5 days a week. Yeah, you got priorities on your squat. Luke's laughing. I told you I don't run.
No, you just do like a massive bike ride instead.
Yeah. But then it's like, it's mentally, isn't it? Like, as well, you've still got to enjoy what you're doing. That's the thing. Like, you train because you enjoy training. You're like, you want to take it seriously, you get better at things, but then you don't want to take it so seriously, you stop enjoying it because you're getting so frustrated all the time. It's getting a balance. Everyone has a bad day as well, though.
Everyone knows why Mark's saying that, don't they? Because Mark's been trying to get strong and go. But the thing with Mark is he enjoys putting himself into a pain cave, a cardio pain cave. To do that daily, or he hasn't got his fix.
Yeah.
So that's
it's true though. Like
weigh it up.
Yeah, or if I've had like a stressful bad day, I won't go and do a weightlifting session. I'll go and do like a WOD, like a cardio session, because that's my like go-to.
See, mine's the total opposite. I've had a bad day. I just want to lift heavy, deadlift, do a heavy back squat, and just like no cardio whatsoever.
I must have loads of bad days.
It's different things, right? Everyone's got it slightly differently, right? So when you have a bad day, it's what do you do? I definitely don't go running, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't go and do something you're not good at, because then you'll get frustrated as well because you're not very good at it. You'll be like, oh, I've had a really bad day. I'm going to go and practice my handstand walk to my ramp that I can't do anyway. And then you're going to get in a worse mood as you go. But yeah, I think just pick like maybe 2 things to work on, and just make that your main focus for the week. So set aside like 2 sessions a week, maybe. Like for me, strict handstand push-ups always like a very bad movement. So I have 3 days a week where I just purely work on handstand push-ups. Yeah, so you just sit down and just write out basically what you want to work on, and then be like, okay, how can I get better at this? If it's one of the 6-week programs we've sent out, then maybe just jump onto one of them and do it. If it's something that you're not sure about and hasn't been out, obviously just message me, Jenny or Georgia, and we can kind of help you out with it. That could be anything. It could be like you want to get a hollow, like 30-second hollow hold. You want to get like a 2-minute plank, like anything at all. It can be super advanced, or it can be something super basic. Obviously, what you don't want to do is go and try and self-teach yourself like a bad movement by doing it wrong. Like I was saying earlier, whether you're squatting heavy all the time, but you're doing it the wrong form, you're just going to build a bad motor pattern.
What's a good ideal week's worth of training? So, like per day, would you like the gymnastics day, a sweat, then maybe an ollie, and then so on? Does it depend on what you can do, or
depends on what your goal is?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like it really depends on what you want to achieve, right? If you want to get stronger, I would say you probably would do less sweat sessions, more strength-based train type sessions, body proof as well, probably. If your goal is more just to get fitter, drop a bit of weight, all that kind of stuff, then pretty much any of the sessions, but you want more of the cardio intense stuff, sweat, alongside some lifting as well, obviously, because you don't just want to do body weight stuff, you want to add a bit of weight into that for the resistance for it. But it completely depends on what your goals are, like, and how much time you've got to train as well, right? That puts a bit of a swing on it too.
Yeah.
If you want to like get stronger and lose weight,
you just want everything big.
Just do all the classes every day.
All the classes every day.
Yeah, but say you could train like only Monday to Friday, like an hour a day, and your main goal was, just an example, say like my main goal was to like tone up and lose a bit of weight and work on my endurance. Then my last priority for my class is probably going to be like the lift. So I'd maybe do lift once a week. So same example, I could do like Monday and Wednesday, I'll do sweat. Tuesday, Thursday, I'll do body proof. And then Friday would be like my train.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Because then I'll be working on like 2 more cardio based kind of sessions, which is the sweat. And then I'm working on my body weight, strength and skill through body proof, which is obviously like, personally, I think that should be your like everyone's priorities, like body weight stuff. And then your train will be your last session. But yeah, but like Jen says, it all depends on what your goals are. Or you're super aerobic and you want to work on your strength stuff, then you'll do more lift and body proof, and maybe you do like sweat once a week. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Does that help, Paul?
Yes, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I'm always just, for me, like when the box opens, I'm always just going straight into the weights all the time, rather than thinking.
I know you are.
Maybe.
I've told you so many times.
Well, you know, instead of like going into doing a sweat class, and then maybe do on the Tuesday do a weight class, and then vice versa. So you know, also like Luke moans at me when I go into a sweat as well.
It's like your squat and your deadlift pool, you're like naturally very strong.
Yeah.
Because you've got short limbs, obviously.
Whoa!
But you know what I mean? You don't need to. You should look at the program and be like, okay, CrossFit's got 30 minutes of like lower body squat stuff. I don't really need to work on my squat, or I can go into sweat and do like a high aerobic type thing. Like then for you should be prioritizing the sweat class.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean don't ever do lifting.
No.
Like you want to keep that because like you
That
enjoy
won't
it, and you still want to be good at your strengths. But prioritize it. So say like you had 3 days where you can train. So say you can only train for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like next week or something. You would do CrossFit once and then jump into sweat twice.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's just that's where it is prioritizing your training. So working on your weaknesses more than your strength. But that doesn't, like I say though, don't not work on your strength, because then that's your strength.
Don't put that on the back burner. Still work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, still work on it, but just double up on the stuff you're worse at than what you're good at.
Okay. Cool.
That makes sense.
Because when I was doing a lot of CrossFit, I used to do a lot of sweat, but then went to do a lot of CrossFit, and then I thought I need to go back to sweat. So I decided to go back to sweat every other day. And I tell you what, even though I was like doing CrossFit 4 or 5 times a week, I went into a sweat class and I realised how unfit I was. And I thought I need to do more of this.
Yeah, it's
but I'm also worried that when I get back, I've lost my strength, and I have to start from scratch with my strength, lifting a flipping barbell.
Yeah,
okay.
But you see, that's where you got to look at things like that and just be like, I know it's hard, but be like, okay, I'm just stripping it back to basics, and that's where you can.
It might be a good thing that it's happening.
Patterns. Yes, I mean you can go back to square one on your technique and be like, okay, I'm going back to square one, almost like what me and Jenny are doing now. Is we've just stripped everything back on our weightlifting and just working on it again. Like I know it's a hard way to look at it, but that's the only way, a positive way to look at it. Like you can't lift because of lockdown. So when you go back in, be like, okay, like square one, just work on, build it up from the basics.
You'll be surprised as well. Like muscle memory's still there, so
yeah,
you're not gonna you'll lose strength. Don't get me wrong. We're not gonna sit like depending on how long the lockdown is. There will be a point where you potentially lose strength, but it's not going to be masses of strength. I mean, you're not going to walk into the gym on day one and hit your 1 rep max back squat. Like that's for sure. But you'll probably still be able to go pretty heavy compared to what you were doing before. I don't think you'll lose ridiculous amounts of strength.
But then you might, if you do lose your strength, you'll probably build up your motor patterns though by doing loads of body weight stuff in the classes.
Yeah.
So you got to look at the pros that have come out of it. Like you've got if you work on your handstands and stuff, you might get a handstand walk, but you've lost like 10 kilograms on your squat. So, I mean,
but then the other thing to remember is a handstand walk is going to transfer over really well into your overhead pressing position, your overhead squat position as well. So while that body weight movement, you've changed the way you move on that, you'll probably build some strength in the shoulders where you'll find your push presses and stuff like that will feel much better. They may not necessarily, the numbers may not go up, but they will feel much more solid and more comfortable.
Yeah.
My overhead squat went up without me ever overhead squatting from 6 months of handstand work because I could get into a stabler position overhead.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyone else got anything? Any questions?
No, mine's all been answered.
Yeah, if you do struggle with stuff, guys, or you do come off this call and the next week you're like, okay, I thought about it, but I'm still not sure what I should prioritize my training twice, just drop one of us a message. Obviously, we'll always help you guys out. Yeah, or you do have any questions in general, just give us a shout. But yeah, if you come off it and you're like, okay, I've listened to everything, but I've literally completely forgot what I should be doing. Just send us a message. Yeah, P-Dog.
Yeah, I've written it
Like,
all down.
yeah, no, it's the perfect thing, like write things down. But it is just not getting frustrated with stuff as well. Like if you are trying a new movement it's a new movement. You're not going to pick up straight away. You just got to be patient. It is frustrating. Like trust me, I know. And it is just hammering it. But it doesn't mean you have to work on it every day. Just make sure you have like the breaks in between. So if you're doing your push-up program, whatever, just 2 or 3 times a week, that's it. Don't just do it every day of the week.
Yeah. Would you recommend, like, if you're doing the push-up program and then you're working on your handstand hold, like me?
Yeah.
Should I do it like the push-ups and the handstand in the same day or in separate days?
How many days a week are you doing the push-up program?
I'm just doing it. So I did it
twice a week
last week, and I've done it 2 times this week, and then tomorrow. But I will be doing it twice a week. I personally would be like, if I'm doing like an upper body kind of like day, I'd add it into that. So say for example, Monday you might be quite like lower body dominant, like loads of squats and obviously like a WOD or something on train. And then if Tuesday you're doing your upper body stuff, I'd put it in there. Okay.
Just to give your upper body a bit of a rest. But that as well is just trialing and testing it. Yeah, you never know. You might work fine. You do like your push up day on one day, and then the following day you work on your handstand holds. It could be absolutely fine. But you might find though, if you do it separate, you might be too fatigued the next day to do it. So I'd probably start off with doing both on the same session.
Okay.
They're not super long, right? You can do your push up one in like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, the push up thing is like 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, and then you can spend 20 minutes on your handstand holds afterwards. But then, like I say, if you're not too fatigued, you can do it the next day. Yeah, so I'd start off doing it basically same day.
Okay.
And if you feel like you got all this spare time, you want to do more. Maybe try and separate out, but just see.
It's literally the only thing.
Yeah, just see how you feel with it. I'd say start same day and see how
I have no idea what you said.
No idea.
Froze.
Did I freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I said just try it both on the same day, like an upper body day, lower body day, and then if you feel like you can do them on separate days, try it on separate days, and so your body reacts to it. So I know for me, like a squat on Monday, which I do. I could then probably do quite a heavy lower body workout still on a Tuesday, and then squat again on a Wednesday. But that's like just me. Like I can work like that. Whereas someone else, they might do a squat session on a Monday, and they've got massive leg DOMs on a Tuesday, so they have to do all upper body. Yeah, it's just experiment with it.
Or even like me, like my sciatica kicks in at the moment, so like I have a leg day and then I have to rest in between just to let everything recover better. You play around with it and you'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say like especially when you're like, if you're quite new to training, trying different things, it is just experimenting and find out what your body works, and then you can really like get into it and detail your training because you know how your body reacts.
Yeah.
And you can get really serious into adding like extra little things into your program.
Okay.
Cool. Anyone else? Any questions?
No, it's great. Thanks so much.
No, yeah, guys. Like I say, any questions you do have that you think about like after this, just drop me or Jenny a message. And obviously we're more than happy to help you guys out, or any just other little things, or if there's any skills that you want to work on, like I say, that we haven't sent out yet, just drop us a message and we can give you some little pointers to do, or at least point you in the right direction of like YouTube stuff that you should and shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Thumbs up, you dog. Cheers, guys. See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.